Nobody was going to take my hand and lead me to where I needed to go.
The single greatest thing that you can do to improve the quality of your life is...
Everybody but the successful people fail to realize about any creative industry is that there is absolutely no defined path. Mm-hmm. There isn't one. So it's about paving your own path.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso, keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time. Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel is created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Michelle Obama. Also, if you want to have more self-love, check out my 254 series. They're free. The link to join are in the description below.
Doubts don't go away. You just learn how to deal with them.
So at 6 a.m. every morning, I had to get on a city bus and ride for an hour, sometimes more, just to get to school. And I was willing to do that because I was willing to do whatever it took for me to go to college. I set my sights high. I decided I was going to Princeton, but I quickly realized that for me, a kid like me, getting into Princeton wasn't just going to happen on its own. See, I went to a great school, but at my school, we had so many kids, so few guidance counselors. They were dealing with hundreds of students. So they didn't always have much time to help me personally get my applications together. Plus, I knew I couldn't afford to go on a bunch of college visits. I couldn't hire a personal tutor. I couldn't enroll in SAT prep classes. We didn't have the money. And then, get this, some of my teachers straight up told me that I was setting my sights too high. They told me I was never going to get into a school like Princeton. And I still hear that doubt ringing in my head. So it was clear to me that nobody was going to take my hand and lead me to where I needed to go. Instead, it was going to be up to me to reach my goal. I would have to chart my own course.
The single greatest thing that you can do to improve the quality of your life is to take responsibility for it. No more blaming your parents, or the country, or the government, or your family, or your community, or your education. No more blaming other people. It's you. It's you. It may not be your fault where you are right now, but it is your responsibility alone to fix it. You didn't pick where you started, but you can choose where you end up. It's up to you. So I remember growing up, my parents were very hardcore in education. You see my parents behind me here. I'm 8 or 9 here. Those are my parents. And we were a middle-class family. We weren't poor by any stretch, but we also, we're not rich. And my parents invested basically everything they had into our education. They put us all in the private schools, and taking 3 kids into private schools was a giant chunk of the income that they made. And so we didn't spend money on a lot of other stuff. I remember driving into my school, and all of the friends, all the other people at the school had all these fancy cars that when they turned 16, they're, given a Mercedes or BMW from their family. And, my family had a Reliant K car that kind of made a bunch of noises as it came into the school that was, I don't know however many years old, just because my family, prioritized education. And we were playing in a league that was maybe above our means, but they valued that so much. And then we took a hit on other things. And I remember I used to get made fun of for the car, and I never went on the vacations that they went on, and I didn't have the fancy watches and all that other stuff. And there was one friend of mine who was kind of in a similar boat, where his parents, weren't making a lot of money, invested everything that they had into his education too. And so we quickly became friends as I guess the poor kids at the school. But it's funny now because I never blame my parents. I'm super grateful for the opportunities. I mean, why I have them up on my wall, that they invested so much and that they cared. And it's on me. Like, if my business doesn't work out, it's not their fault. Right? Up until, you can potentially move out. I don't know what age you want to say, if it's 14, 15, 16, 18, but after a certain age, you're an adult, and you have to take responsibility for your life. I can't be here at, how old am I now? 39. I can't be 39 blaming my parents. Like, it's my fault. If I'm not successful, it's on me. What happened when I was 6 years old doesn't matter anymore. Now it's on me. Like, and there might have been some crazy stuff that happened to you, right? But you're allowing it to happen to you every day. You're allowing that story to come up and hurt you every single day. Now it's your choice. You don't have to end up in the same spot that you are right now. It starts with you stopping blaming the people around you. And what's been an amazing full circle moment is a lot of the people that I went to school with, a lot of the people who are gifted those Mercedes and BMWs, when they were 16, they're now coming to me and asking for help. Now, I'm more successful than a huge chunk of them. They want to start businesses and they don't know how to do it. They're asking for help and reaching out. It's a pretty wild experience because I almost went down the path that they went in terms of getting the jobs, but I became an entrepreneur. And that can happen to you too, right? All the people who you're jealous of, all the people who might be giving you a hard time, all the people around you who aren't chasing their dreams down, you might end up being an inspiration to them. But it starts by you being an inspiration to yourself. It starts by you taking accountability and responsibility and saying, I'm going to go make my life better than what it is right now. So how do you do it? I'm going to give you 3 steps. Let's go. Step number 1 is figure out, what do you want? What do you want? Like, what do you want? What do you want out of life? What do you want your life to be? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? What do you want to be doing on a regular basis? What's in your calendar? Like, what do you want? What do you want? I want to solve the world's biggest problem. Try saying that on the street. Right? It's crazy. What do you want to do? What do you want? Even though the people around you may not understand it, chances are they won't. Chances are the thing that you want is not what your parents and your family did. It's something totally different. It's an opportunity that didn't exist. I had a guy on my Twitch stream yesterday, League of Legends online. He was telling me, I wish I was born a couple of decades earlier because I would have had a comic store. But now you can't make money at a comic store and I want to be financially independent. It's like, you want to be financially independent? Dude, you don't want to be born 2 decades ago. The guy who was born 2 decades ago barely had any tools available to be able to become financially independent. People who own comic book stores 2 years ago were not financially independent. You're living a really meager life. I mean, you can be independent, I guess, and not having to work for somebody else, but you're not taking massive vacations. You're not making a lot of money. But now, the amount of opportunities, the fact that you could be sitting here playing a video game and making money is crazy. It did not exist 20 years ago. So no, don't go back and wish you were born 20 years earlier so you can open a comic book store. You have way more opportunities right now to be financially independent. So what do you want? Figure it out. Number 2 is eliminate the negativity. So you want this thing. You want this life. You want these resources at your disposal. You want to be doing these things. There's a lot of people, including the voice in your head, there's a lot of people saying, you can't do that. You'll never do that. You're not good enough. Do you know where you came from? You know what your education is? You think you can go do that? Are you crazy? Are you nuts? You can't do that. Start to shut it down. Start to eliminate the negativity. And you know by how you feel. If you are, this is especially, think about people and the resources that you're consuming. So the media you're consuming, right? People and what you're consuming. So videos that you're watching, books that you're reading, although chances are there aren't that many super negative books, but think more videos you're watching, I guess, series you're watching, where you might lose your time, and the people around you, where you feel worse about yourself, where you feel lower energy than when you went in, where you're just escaping your problems instead of actually confronting them, right? You want to eliminate or at least limit exposure access to it. Now, maybe that's your mom. So maybe you don't talk about some things with your mom now. Maybe you shut off that kind of side. I'm not saying you need to eliminate your mom from your life, although for some people, that's honestly the best thing. And people have done it and then exploded. But at least limit access to certain topics. Eliminate the negativity. And then step number 3 is fill the void with possibility. So you've eliminated access. You're not hanging around with your friends who are always complaining and being negative. You stop watching the shows that don't teach you anything, that are mindless entertainment. You stop talking to people about the things that you know they're going to just berate you for and never support you on. Great. So now you have extra time. What are you going to spend that time on? Inject yourself with possibility. Surround yourself with people who are doing amazing things. That could be even in the form of videos. It could be this. Maybe the Entspresso videos you need every day. Awesome. I'm humbled to be part of your journey. Maybe it's the top 10s. Maybe it's my main channel. Maybe it's other videos, other creators. Maybe it's going to events. Maybe it's hanging out at different meetups and meeting new people, right? There's lots of different things that you can do. But the goal is to fill that void in your time now with possibility. Because the more that you're around people and ideas that make you feel bold, that make you feel like it's possible, that crazy idea, the what do you want back in step one, that you feel that it's possible, that you can do it, that might actually be attainable. That seed of hope is everything. Because whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. The people around you, chances are telling you that you can't do it. And you need to switch the narrative. You need to change the story by injecting more possibility into your life. Now, I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I want to know, what is the one resource that you need to consume more of to inject more possibility into your life? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you made it this far and you're still watching, I want to celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe in the comments as well.
If you're an artist or a filmmaker or a content creator in general, do you feel like you shouldn't even go mainstream towards TV or towards film or towards working with a music label, or should you focus on creating it all yourself? Because it still helps a lot of people who don't know how to do the online stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no answer to that question.
Right,
I think that it's one thing that everybody but the successful people fail to realize about any creative industry is that there is absolutely no defined path.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't one. So it's about paving your own path. And now for me, my path meant mainstream just didn't work and new media did work. And for other people, it's entirely antithetical to that, where mainstream is exactly the right place for them.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no formula that's right or wrong. I'm just much better versed in my own, the trajectory that I followed myself. And that includes really running away from the establishment and into whatever the most forward-thinking space is.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.